I know there's conversations about your Cowboys amongst this sports talk ether. Like, why wouldn't Brady go there? Because Dak's their guy. Dak's 29. Dak's about to be 30. Dak's in the middle of a long-term contract where he's making $40 million a year. Those aren't easily offloaded, nor is it one of those situations when the Cowboys are not, believe it or not, that impetuous. I know that Jerry Jones has that image because of what happened with Jimmy Johnson back in the 90s. But since then, he has not been impetuous at all. And to basically say to Dak, we're done now. We've already just seen it. We're done. We're not going to continue on. We're going to bring in Tom Brady. That makes no sense. I don't see that. I don't see it at all. When you're talking about the San Francisco 49ers about 3 weeks ago, I didn't see it all either. 2 weeks ago, Brock Purdy is looking pretty darn good. Why not see how far he can take you? And let him be the front guy and Lance be the backup if you think Lance is not ready yet or what have you. Or let the two of them duke it out in OTAs. Let the two of them compete. Come on and say, hey, Kyle Shanahan, what do you think? Well, we're going to see what these guys look like. Let's compete it out. Let's see what's going on. Got to love the competition. And both quarterbacks, one would think, have the locker room's respect. Potentially, if you think about it, Purdy's more than Lance because he just took him some space.
Agreed.
So you put it all together, and Brady wasn't in that mix. Why would you stop that process that's within your own DNA? It's your guys. These are your long-term futures. You just won the NFC West and damn near the entire conference with the rookie. Why would you go ahead and pitch it all for Tom Brady? Well, if Purdy's not available till the middle of August and Lance is coming off of a leg injury that you have yet to determine, and it's the middle of March. It's 6 weeks from now. This is when you have to make this decision. 6 weeks from now. Unless Brady retires and then you knock on his door in June or mid-July and say, what do you think? And he tells Fox to put Greg Olsen back in the booth. I think this is now officially real.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Right?
Absolutely. If they weren't on the list before, they're on the list now. It's Miami.
I don't know. When you say Miami, that could be just us talking about it.
Maybe, but it did almost happen.
Well, let's just linger here for a moment.
Raiders,
if you're Miami,
obviously.
And Tua's not going to the Pro Bowl because he's still in concussion protocol, and believe me, as we're going to talk about over this 3-hour program, the NFL is looking for Pro Bowl quarterbacks to fill out the AFC roster. Significantly. They're on the hunt. And if Tua's not even viable now, and he just suffered his, second third concussion, second and third concussions.
He got 3 this year.
You have to sit here and say, all right, he couldn't finish the season. Do we have some sort of meeting of the minds, figuratively and literally, to see if a year would work? Does a year work? You give him that time off. Is Tua willing to say, I'll take the year? I'll take the year. And you put Brady in there. I'm serious.
Well, the thing
or do you not?
If they win the Super Bowl, then what do you do with Tua?
Because at least in the case of Brady with San Francisco, you're telling your young kid and Purdy,
get healthy.
Get healthy.
Right.
And then you're looking at Lance and saying, Trey, I'm sorry to do this to you again, but we're willing to sit here and see if you can learn behind Brady just 1 year, and then we'll turn to you in year 4 of your contract. Basically what's happening to Jordan Love. And that's a conversation that's difficult to have, but one that you can go into a season knowing that you have the best team in the NFC and the best shot to win it all, unless the Eagles are your odds-on favorite to repeat or get back to the Super Bowl a second straight year. I mean, right? Brady on this team, it's kind of the entire bandwagon would be full on the spot. And this is also a team that went ahead and traded a bunch of draft choices for Christian McCaffrey. So you know that they are all in. And you also know that one way to help supplement not having these draft choices is to bring Brady in and just win with the same guys. Right?
Yeah. Man, oh, man. Yeah.
Like, I don't think, if you ask Tom, what else would you need than what's already currently there? You know, could he nitpick here or there to help him protect up front? Maybe, but what else? What else? Good. It's just like, yeah, they're missing this, they're missing that. They got to go in the draft and get that. If they only had those picks for McCaffrey, no, McCaffrey's back, and they're running backs with Tom behind that line, and Ayuk and Debo and Kittle and the rest of those receivers with that defense. Dude, you're ready to roll, man.
Loaded, man.
You know, you are ready to go. Where else would there be for Tom? I know we mentioned the Raiders. Where else would there be? I know Frank Reich is talking right now in Carolina. Tennessee, I know that's his old guy Vrabel, but really, does he feel that's the... I would stay in Tampa before moving to one last spot. I'd stay in Tampa and see who they hire as the OC, who apparently they're telling, that's something to talk about with Breer, they're telling these OC candidates that that Brady's still possibly in the mix. Well, we'll talk about that with Albert Breer in a moment.
If I'm Brady,
hour two.
If I'm Brady, I try to make the Niners happen, and if it doesn't, I stay in Tampa. If I want to keep playing,
or Miami, I'd try to get to Miami. Absolutely, try to get to Miami. If he could live in the town with his family,
I just don't think the Dolphins are going to do that.
I would do whatever I could to get there. Hill and Waddle, and the rest of that team.
If I'm him,
and they, by the way, one last aspect of Miami that we didn't talk about yesterday at all is it looks like they're hiring Vic Fangio to be their defensive coordinator. Could you imagine if that is the case?
Or
that defense gets Vic Fangio coming in, one of the best defensive coordinators this league has seen in the last 20 some odd years. Everywhere he goes, the Niners fans know all about him. He was the DC when Harbaugh took Kaepernick to the Super Bowl. You know, so no question in my mind, Brady sees, okay, he's coordinating the defense. McDaniel runs the offense with Waddle and Hill and Mostert and whatever. And I get to go play the Jets and the Bills and the Patriots twice. I get to go back. I get to finish up in the AFC East, live in the town where my kids live, play there.
Are Waddle and Hill more attractive than Godwin and Evans, though?
Younger.
Yeah.
A little more explosive.
Yeah. I just think
explosive. It's not like he's chucking the ball 70 yards down the field.
No, but that's the Dolphins game. The Dolphins game is get it out quick and let those guys get the yak
to the house
like crazy.
Also, a young, kind of innovative, offensive-minded head coach.
Let me just throw one other thing out there, because we just heard from Rick Stroud, our Tampa Bay friend, a couple weeks ago after the Bucs got eliminated, and he said he heard and put in his column in late December and kind of busted our stones for not knowing what he had written, that Gronk was thinking about coming back around Thanksgiving and then just couldn't bring himself to do it.
Yeah.
Even though he was on Fox saying that he's being in the NFC Championship game hoopla in Philadelphia, that it made him miss football for the first time, got his juices flowing. You don't think Gronk would say, I'll be the second tight end next to Kittle? You don't think Gronk would say, the two tight end set with Gronk and Kittle?
Or him and Gesicki in Miami?
Well, I think Gesicki's in a walk year.
Oh.
Come on now. These are all things that are truly possible right now. And,
I'm
not just saying it just to stir it up.
If I'm Tom Brady, Miami is perfect. I just think Miami is committed to Tua, and they want him to get healthy and have him be the guy, especially when he played this year. Of course. They were amazing. But is Tua, when is he going to get healthy enough to make that decision? Is it going to be in the window of the next 6 weeks where Tom needs to make a decision? You know what I mean? I just don't know if it's timing-wise, if it's all going to work out for Miami.
Because it has to be done in the next 6 weeks. Plans need to be made in the next 6 weeks.
Whereas San Francisco, you could be like, you could just make a decision. Okay, we're going to let Purdy heal, or maybe explore a trade for Lance, or tell him this is the deal, and then bring in Tom on maybe a 1+1 deal, and let's rock and roll.
It sounds like the team that decided to push the McCaffrey button in the middle of the season and go for it and get him in the spot, that sounds like it's on brand to do it.
Yeah, they're in a weird way. They're the new Rams. Just like win it now, F the picks, and let's go for it.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.